We are in Introduction to Statistical Learning, Chapter 11, dealing with survival analysis. We are in the conceptual questions, and we're in question number 3. And question 3 piggybacks off of question number 2. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the scenario presented in question 2, which is laid out here in question 2, but which I summarize in the answer in the table here. So we'll actually use the table so we can see both of them on the screen. And we are supposed to answer the following things. So we're supposed to answer in that scenario, what are the values for large K, and we'll go over what these mean here. D1 through DK, R1 through RK, and Q1 through QK. Okay. So what are these things? Okay. Well, K is the number of death times among non-censored cases. Okay, but here we're not talking about deaths, we're talking about phone replacements. So it's the number of phones that are replaced among non-censored cases. Okay, so people that we did not lose to follow-up. D, the lowercase d, are the death times, again, this is phone replacement times now. R is the number that remain alive just before a given death time. Okay, so each death time will have an R value associated with that, and that R value says this is how many were alive right before this death time. And then there is Q, which is the number that die at each death time. Okay, so we'll track that, or we'll track the scenario in exercise 2 in a table down here. And I'm also adding a column for the number currently being tracked. So, so because we can lose people either to death or to censoring, there are 2 ways by which that number can change, and we don't have a way of tracking that with, with these variables right here. So whether somebody is lost to follow-up or dies, or they've replaced their phone, we will be able to somewhat track that with the column NI, which is not called for in the question, but I'm adding. Okay, so let's go through these. So here's, well, let me get both of these on the screen. So I have a table here that is set up sequentially for the different times of things happening. And so we'll just kind of translate the table from question 2 to question 3. Okay, but the first thing to get out of the way is what is K here? What is big K? It's 2 because there's 2 phone replacements. And if we go over to the table here, we can see that because the YI, which again, YI is whether or not the person, or you can interpret it as whether or not the person was censored or they had a death event. We see that there's 2 death events here. Okay, so if that's a little bit unclear, go back and watch the answer for question 2. Okay, so down here we have the column for what happens, and the first thing that happens is the study begins, and it begins at time 0. And of course, because we're just beginning, nobody dies. Okay, so this is not a death time. The number that we're tracking is 4 because we have the full population here, the full group, and all of them are alive. None of them have replaced their phones, and because it's not even a death time, we have 0 here for the number that died at that D time. Okay. Now we need to find the next thing that happens, and so we can go up here to this table and look for the shortest time among the columns. Well, really, we can look at the shortest numerical value for YI, and it's 0.2. So what happens at 0.2? Well, it looks like participant 4 replaces their phone, right? Because they're not censored. It's at 0.2. So we say participant 4 replaces their phone at time 0.2. And what is the death time? It's 0.2 because that's what happened at 0.2. And so just before that, there was 4 people that we were tracking. All 4 of them had not replaced their phone, but at time 0.2, one of them replaces their phone. Okay. So now for the next row, how do we get that? So we go again up here and we look for the next shortest yi time, and it looks like it's 1.2. And at 1.2, it looks like participant 1 replaces their phone because their yi is t here and not c. C meant they were censored. So we go down here. We say that at time 1.2, participant 1 replaces their phone. It is a death time. Just before this, we were tracking 3, right? Because we lost participant 4. And of those 3, all of them had their phone. Okay. And at time 1.2, 1 phone died. Okay. All right. So back up to the table in question 2. We look for the next shortest event, and that seems to be at time 1.5. And at 1.5, participant 3 is censored. So we don't know what happens to them other than we've lost contact with them. So we go here. Participant 3 was censored at time 1.5. Well, this is not a death time. Just before this event, we were tracking 2 people. And why? Because, well, we lost participants 4 and 1 to phone replacement. Okay. And of those 2, both of them, as far as we knew, still had their phones. But we don't know what happens, you know, we don't know why, we don't know the phone status of this individual. Okay. So QI, the number that died at this time, we don't know, because it is possible that participant 3 had to replace their phone and we just did not know. Or they still have their phone and we don't know. So I'm putting in A. And finally, the last row here comes from participant 2 at time 2. So at time 2, participant 2, they are apparently censored. Right? So participant 2 is censored at time 2. So again, there is no death time. The number we were tracking at this point was just participant 2 because we'd lost 2 to replacing their phones. We lost participant 3 to being censored, so there's just 1 left, and now we've lost them to follow up as well. Actually, in this case, the study ends, and the R value is I believe NA, because since participant 3 was censored, we don't know how many are still quote unquote alive. It could be as high as 2, it could be as low as 1 in this case. So I'm not really sure what to do with that, because that seems like that would happen all the time in this type of data, where you lose one of them to follow up, and so is every RI column after that just NA? I'm a little bit unclear, so if somebody has a better answer, I would like to know. Or maybe stacking it sequentially like this just presents problems that were not foreseen with me doing it. I'm not sure, but and also QI, the number that died at this time, is also NA, because we don't know what happened to participant 2 or to 3 for that matter. So, okay. So I think that is everything here, and I'll see you next time.